everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well, and a huge happy new year to all of you. I hope you celebrated in the best way with friends and family. Today I have a 2017 beauty favourites for you, and what I thought I would do was do a makeup look using my favourite products of the year. So this is the finished look. I have already filmed it. And so yeah, I just thought I'd talk you through a couple of the products that I have absolutely been loving and put them all on my face at the same time so that you can actually see them in action. So naturally, if you'd like to see me create this look and also find out what my makeup favourites of 2017 were, then please do keep on watching. So I'm going to start off with something which I wouldn't typically include in like my everyday beauty routine. It's not something that I'm necessarily using at the moment, but it's something that I have loved throughout December, and that is the Body Shop Drops of Youth Fresh Emulsion. This is anti-pollution and it's got SPF 20 in there, so it's a really great one to put on a just cleansed, clean face before makeup. Onto moisturiser, and my fave of 2017 has been the Clinique Pep Start Hydra Blur Moisturiser. This is really great. I definitely feel like it's got those blurring effects in there. I think it's the way it feels. It just feels super hydrating, super nice, and I think it gives me a really nice base for foundation. Whilst that's drying, I'm going to put some lip balm on my lips, Carmex, my all-time fave. Which leads me onto primer. My favourite primer has been the Benefit the Professional Matte Rescue. I was very much into a matte base throughout the whole of 2017, to be honest. Generally speaking, I just use my fingers for like all of the first stages, so that's like moisturiser, primer. I have a lot on, but don't know, I've never really found the need to necessarily like use brushes for this, but obviously everybody has their own kind of way of doing things, and I'm not saying that this is a right way or a wrong way, but it's just the way I do it. I let that sink in for a while just so that I have a really flawless base for when it comes to applying my foundation. But before then, when I do put on eyeshadow, I typically use an eyeshadow primer. Not necessarily I feel like I need to or anything like that, but I just have it. It's rare that I put on eyeshadow, so when I do, I want it to stay as long as possible. So I use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. As I said, I don't typically use eyeshadow that often, so I did find it quite tricky, but there are definitely two that stood out to me, and the first is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Absolutely loved that, but that only came out like halfway through 2017. I think it was potentially June or July, so throughout the summer, and there was definitely other shadows that I was using, and without a doubt, the Vintage Vamp by Charlotte Tilbury has been one of my absolute favourites. It's really beautiful. It's got some really nice like deep shades in there. It's also got really beautiful gold, and I just think it's such a pretty one. It's the perfect quad for someone who is a novice with eyeshadow, which I would say I am, and I quite literally use this as it's outlined here. So I go for the lighter colour as like a wash all over base colour, then this lighter purple, the deeper purple sometimes, and then a gold just for a nice shimmery finish. And I will obviously come in and clean that up, which is why I leave foundation and concealer to after applying eyeshadow, because I'm just not great. Next up, I have a colour corrector. Now this is the Correction Concentrate by Peexo. It's a peachy colour, and I really like this. I didn't get too into the whole correctors in 2017, and I feel like that's the year they've really blown up. The only one I have really used is this peachy colour, which I use under my eyes. Once that's done, I go on to foundation. I would say this is the year that I really got into foundation, and that I have more than one in my makeup collection. I definitely only had like two, if that. So that is the Lancome Tunti Doll Ultra Wear SPF 15 24-hour wear and comfort retouch free foundation. Absolutely love this. I use the shade 025 or 25, which I believe is like Beige Lin. I think that's the name of it, but don't hold me to that. It only says 25 on the bottle, but I really like this. It's light, it suits me, it doesn't feel too heavy, which I think is why I first really got into it, because I hate the feeling of heavy makeup. I just don't like how it feels. I don't like how it sits. So yeah, I just use literally a pump and a half of that. And an honorary mention has to go to my favourite beauty sponge of 2017, and that has been the Eco Tools ones. I've spoken about this before in a favourites video, I believe, but really love these. Concealer has simply got to be the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I have two shades. I have the shade light, medium and light. I typically use light under my eyes, and I was using light medium to cover blemishes, but I do think it's a little bit too dark at the moment. Whilst I look a little bit crazy, one of the things that I really love about this blender is the pointed edge. I just think it works really well, particularly like this, where I have attempted to do like an eyeshadow look and it's got a little bit messy. I can just literally use it like this to clean that up with concealer or even with my foundation, and I think it just works really well under the eye. It reaches your lash line and I think it just makes concealer work really well. Something that I most definitely do not use anymore is powder, but again, I was using this a lot throughout the start of 2017, so I feel like it's only right that I include it, and that is the Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. Now this is like broken. I think as soon as I film this video I'm going to throw this away, but it's definitely ended up at the back of my makeup drawer, so it's ended up getting smashed in there. It's not something I use anymore. Powder is just not something that I typically gravitate towards. I don't feel like I need it. I don't necessarily have very oily skin that I feel the need to powder every day or anything like that. I actually used to use this in the shade, I can't remember the shades, but maybe like number 2 or something, and that used to be what I would use for foundation. As I said, I just don't typically powder anymore. It's just not something I do. I'm not gonna try and do anything fancy like baking or anything like that, because again, it's just not true to what I typically do. I'm just gonna sort of brush over a bit of powder all over my face. And finally onto brows, because I feel like this whole time I've been looking a little bit strange without any brows, and I'm going to use the Goof Proof Brow Pencil by Benefit. It's a classic. I use the shade 03. I think it's the one, it's just 3. I don't know why I keep saying O in front of 1-digit numbers, but I really like this. It's just a classic. I always go back to it. I try so many different brow products, and there are definitely loads that I really love as well, but I just know that this is going to be a classic. It's going to be one that I know I can always go back to, which is obviously brilliant. That's what you want with a brow product, and I really love this. To keep my brows in place, I always use some sort of clear product, and this year I really fell in love with the Peexo Brow Tamer. This is just a clear brow gel. It's in the shade Translucent, and I really enjoyed this. I'm actually opening up a new one, which I'm both sad and happy about, because I do have others on the go at the moment, which is why I've been saving this one, but it was just my favourite, so I felt like I needed to bring it out and show you guys. It just works so well, and I love it. On from that, I'm going to go for contour. Again, this is something that I don't typically do anymore. Just can't be bothered with the whole contour malarkey, but I was using the Rodial contouring powder in the shade 03. I love this. This is so good. It's definitely cool toned, which is what I really love about this product. And yeah, I just think it's a really great contour powder. Onto bronzer, which is what I've been using the most of to give myself a more bronzed and like glowy tanned finish. And I absolutely love the Bourjois bronzing powder, Délice de Poudre. No, I think that's just in French. I don't know if this is like anything in particular. This is that chocolate bronzer, which inside it looks like a chocolate. This is so old. This was like a summer limited edition one. No idea. Maybe like 2 years ago, I want to say. But I really like it. And I typically do that, the 3 like this. That's what I enjoy. That's what I think is what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Just go with the flow. Onto blush, which I don't typically use that often, but I've definitely fallen in love with one from MAC, and it's called Lesson in Love. It's a powder blush, and it just looks like this. It's very pinky. You don't need a lot of this at all. Just literally a little bit to add a flush of colour. Which finally leads me on to highlights, which I would say is my absolute fave thing in terms of... Actually, no, I think bronzer is my favourite, but I do love adding a good bit of highlight. And my fave has been the Peexo Glowy Powder. This is in the shade Santorini Sunset. It's absolutely beautiful. I actually think this was from a collaboration with a YouTuber called Aspinovard. Not 100% sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I loved this ever since I got this. It was so good. I was never really into highlighters, but obviously it seemed like the whole world was, and when I got this I just fell in love with it. I absolutely love it. I think it gives a really nice bronzy glow, so it's kind of a like a yellowy gold is what I'm looking for, a golden colour, as opposed to like looking too white or too silvery. And I really like that. That's what I go for. I feel like it just works much nicer with a more bronzy look. Which leads me very close to finished, and that is mascara. Now, the one that I feel like I need to mention, and I should have bought to include in this video, was actually the L'Oreal Miss Hippie Waterproof Mascara. I fell in love with that mascara. It was so good. It did amazing things for my lashes. I'm pretty sure I've included it in favourites, and I think I've also featured it on my blog. But I really loved that. I just didn't get the chance to get my hands on it. But what I was going to include instead is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I have used this in the past, but then I started using this again not that long ago, you know, only like 3 months ago maybe, if that, no, I think 3 months ago. I think it was in October. So I mean, admittedly, it's probably not amazing for me to include this in the 2017 favourites because I have only used it for like 3 months, but it's really good. It's been my go-to and I'm just literally only going for this one at the moment. Mascara is done. I always do top and bottom lashes. It's just a personal preference. I don't really think there's any like right way to do it. I just prefer it like this. And I also grabbed a little bit of Santorini Sunset Highlight and put that in the inner corner of my eye as well for a little added brightness, because why not? And finally, we have lipstick. I absolutely love this shade. It's the shade that I get asked the most questions about as well. And it is Max Mare. It's so beautiful. I use this every day, so there is very little left. But I love this, and I've never, ever finished a lipstick before. So when I finish this one, I feel like it's going to be an achievement. But this is beautiful. It's a matte shade by MAC. It's just gorgeous. It's my everyday shade. It's what I use in a lot of my videos, and it's also what I use in 99% of my blog pictures and my Instagram pictures as well. It's just amazing. It's a really great nude for me. Last but by no means least, again, something that I don't necessarily do daily, but whenever I do, this is the product I use, and this is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Typically I use this a lot in the summer actually, and I also use this when I go out and when I know I need my makeup to last all day or all night. And so that's that. I'm going to take off my little headband and then show you the finished look. And so here we have it, a full face of my 2017 makeup beauty favourites. I really hope you like the look. I hope you enjoyed watching. And, oh, honorary mention, there are a couple of products that I just feel like I need to mention. Otherwise, this favourite simply would not be complete. The first is the Body Shop's Almond Milk and Honey Calming and Caring Bath Milk. This is so good. I used this for the first time. I think this came out in like June, July. This was in my summer favourites, I believe, and it was coming close to the end. And I just needed to repurchase it. I bought it a couple of days ago because honestly, I just haven't found a bubble bath that is as good as this. It leaves my skin feeling super soft. It's really great for sensitive skin, so it's really good for the whole family. And it just does some epic bubble baths. I think it's only £10 as well. So 100% 2017 beauty favourites. And another beauty discovery of 2017 was the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. This is a new one because the one I have in my bathroom at the moment is very nearly running out, and I simply couldn't fathom life without one. So yeah, again, absolute favourite of mine. It's the first cleansing balm that I've actually ever used, and just completely obsessed with it, completely fallen for cleansing balms. And so, as always, a huge thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you did, it would be amazing. And also subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I have lots of content planned for this year, so here's hoping that you will stay on board with me. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Bye!